Hello again to everybody. As you already heard, my name is Mateja Grubor, and this time in front of the group of authors, I will present you a paper titled Miscanthus and maize stalk as source for green energy production. Rising concerns about fossil energy and its impact on the environment have accelerated the development of bioenergy on a global level since biomass is a long-term renewable and CO2 neutral. Lignocellulosic biomass occurs as a renewable source due to its annual renewability and high annual amount of produced biomass. Maize stalk as post-harvest residues and energy crop Miscanthus x giganteus belong to the second-generation biomass, but also to C4 plants, and such biomass is potentially high-value source for green energy production. Thermochemical conversion of biomass is an increasingly viable way to use agricultural residues and energy crops to fulfill energy needs. Generally, biomass conversion technologies are considered as environmentally friendly processes. Fuel properties data are foundation for valorization of biomass in the combustion process. Such information is usually obtained by structural, ultimate, and proximate analysis and heating values. Considering the above mentioned, the aim of this paper was to determine the Miscanthus and maize stalk biomass energy properties through structural, ultimate, and proximate analysis and heating values as feedstock in the process of biofuel production. The analytic investigation of Miscanthus biomass and maize stalk was conducted in the Laboratory for Biomass and Energy Efficiency in Agriculture at the University of Zagreb Faculty of Agriculture. The structural analysis included determination of cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. The proximate analysis included determination of moisture, ash, coke, fixed carbon, and volatile matter content. The ultimate analysis included determination of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, and oxygen content. The higher heating value were determined by using an adiabatic calorimeter, while lower heating value is obtained by calculation. Biomass with a higher content of lignin is more sustainable for energy production by the direct combustion process, while during the production of second-generation biofuels, its lowest share is desirable. Cellulose has a higher oxygen concentration compared to lignin, so the heating value of cellulose is lower than lignin. As a result, a lower cellulose content is desirable for the direct combustion process, and as high as possible in the production of second-generation bioethanol from lignocellulosic biomass. Like cellulose, hemicellulose has a higher oxygen concentration than lignin, so the heating value of hemicellulose is lower than lignin, so a lower proportion of hemicellulose in biomass is also desirable for the combustion process. The obtained result of lignocellulosic composition indicate the possibility of using the investigated crops in the production of solid and liquid biofuels. Water as a non-combustible ingredient of the fuel has a direct effect on the heating value of biomass due to the amount of heat spent on its evaporation. The water content in the studied crops was around 5% for Miscanthus and 10% for maize stalk. Ash determines the fuel quality. The higher ash content decreases the quality. The ash content in agricultural biomass ranges from 2 to 25%. The ash content in the studied crops range around 2% for Miscanthus and 4% for maize stalk. Furthermore, the coke content represents the dry distillation residues and its higher content increases fuel quality. The coke content in the studied crops range around 12% for Miscanthus and 15% for maize stalk. The fixed carbon content, along with the ash, represents the solid residues after the combustion. The fixed carbon content of both studied cultures was around 10%, which is expected for agricultural biomass. During the combustion process, biomass decomposes into volatile gases and solid residue. Biomass typically has a high percentage of volatiles, up to 80%, and fuels that have a high volatile content have a lower energy value. The volatile matter content in the studied crops ranged around 86% for Miscanthus and 76% for maize stalk. Carbon and hydrogen as elements that increase the heating value of biomass range around 47% and 6% for Miscanthus, while for maize stalk they range around 46% and 6%. Nitrogen doesn't participate in the combustion process, but it reduces the heating value of biomass. Except for the energy aspect, its lowest possible share is also important for the ecological aspect. In the studied crops, nitrogen content was around 0.5% for Miscanthus, while it was around 0.9% for maize stalk. The content of sulfur, a harmful element in the biomass, ranged from 0.15% for Miscanthus and 0.19% for maize stalk. Oxygen reduced the heating value of biomass, and in Miscanthus it was about 46%, while in maize stalk it was about 47%. All above parameters have an impact on the biomass heating value as a measure for determining the fuel energy content, and in Miscanthus it was around 17 megajoule per kilogram, while in maize stalk it was around 15 megajoules per kilogram. The analyzed biomass of Miscanthus X giganteus and maize stalk showed quality properties for the direct combustion aspect. Namely, the edge that determines the quality of the fuel was relatively low in the investigated crops in relation to other agricultural biomass. The elemental composition also shows good energy properties, namely carbon and hydrogen as elements that increase the biomass heating value occur in a high percentage, and the amount of sulfur as a source of harmful elements was relatively low. The ratio of cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin indicates an increased content of cellulose and hemicellulose, but also the quality content of lignin, which results in the proposal that the studied crops can be used for the solid as well as liquid biofuel production. Also, the lower heating value in the maize stalk was around 15 megajoules per kilogram, which is within the expected range for agricultural biomass, while in Miscanthus it was relatively high, around 17 megajoules per kilogram, and overall the Miscanthus biomass proved to be a slightly better raw material for direct combustion process. Thank you, and hopefully see you in live next time.